Hello everybody, welcome to the VS Code Beginner to Pro video series. In this video, we're going to cover the basics of Visual Studio Code to get you up and running as fast as possible. We all know it's important to know the tools we use as software engineers, but still, many of us lack this skill set. Some would waste time looking for other solutions or external tools, while usually all we need is to better utilize the stuff we already have. Remember to stick around if you'd like to see more of the advanced functionalities and become more efficient with your toolset. So, with that said, let's get started. Visual Studio Code is a code editor developed by Microsoft. Some of you may not like their products, but VS Code is exceptionally well put together, and because of that, it became the most popular code editor. It's lightweight and bare after you install it, but has a huge potential for extension, and this is something we will cover in forthcoming videos. You can perceive it somewhere in between a basic text editor like Notepad and these huge IDEs like IntelliJ, PyCharm, or Visual Studio. It has all of the basic text editor functions, but also comes with some selected IDE features like debugging, Git Visual Tool, and others. Besides that, it provides us with a great ability of customization so that you can make it look and work in whatever manner you prefer. It's free, open source, and cross-platform, so no matter what device you work on, you are going to be able to use it. It's also available as a web application, so you can use it even straight from your browser if you want. Just go to vscode.dev. In order to install it on your local machine, follow the link in the description below and visit its official website to download a standard installer for your operating system. Installation process is very much the same as for the other programs, so I'm not going to bore you with that. So, after successful installation and opening the program, you are going to most likely see a welcome screen looking somewhat like this. There is an option to select a theme and a quick tutorial. You can take a look at it if you want some initial info, but we won't need it for now, so let's close it. Now, the welcome screen will show us the most recent projects we worked on in VS Code, and some shortcuts for simply creating a new file, opening a folder, and others. You can keep the welcome screen to show every time you launch VS Code, but I'm going to disable it. For each of the features I will show you in this video, there will be a keyboard shortcut displayed, so that you can learn it too. First and foremost, we need to think about what software projects actually consist of. They are based on plain text files placed in folders. And because of that, just as we have our file explorer on the computer, we also have something similar in our IDE to be able to easily manage our project files. If we click on the first icon with files on the left, we will see that we can open a folder. Don't worry if you don't have a project to start with. We can create a new one from here too. Alternatively, we can go into menu on the top, and there we will also find options to open files and folders, so let's do just that. From here we can select folder to open. We can also create a new one, so let's do that. Let's trust the authors of the files in this folder. As you can see in the file style, there are no files in my project yet. So let's create some to start with. Here's index.html and bubble.js that I will paste some code to. From here we can basically do the same things that we would from a file explorer that is built into the system. The main benefit of having this kind of thing built in is that we don't have to go outside of this environment to open and manage the files in our solution. We can of course now create folders and files, as well as remove, rename and move them. If we click on a file, it's going to open in our main view window, but not permanently. If I click on another file, it's going to get replaced. In order to make it stay permanently in our dock, we need to double click it. Now, when I click on another file, the first one is going to stay here. And now in order to close it, I need to click this button. We can of course double click many files if you'd like to have them open permanently. If you have lots of files and you know the name of what you need, then you can use a search bar up there to find and open it. Notice that for different types of files we have different icons. This isn't the only benefit of the fact that VS Code recognizes file types in our solution. If we start writing some code, you will see that the editor is showing us some code suggestions. This functionality is called IntelliSense. As you can see, there is a white dot next to the file name in the Opened tab. This is to tell us that our file is not saved. We can use Command S shortcut or set the autosave feature by going to File and Autosave. Another cool feature is code generation using shortcuts. This feature is called Emmet. Let me know in the comments if you would like to see a video about it. But just to give you a glimpse at what it could look like, let's generate some boilerplate HTML. To do so, we will use just an exclamation mark and approve it with tab. As you can see, it generated a repeatable HTML structure. No one needs to type this kind of stuff by hand, so this is another useful feature. That's it about files for now, so let's see other tiles on the left side. The second one is this magnifying glass icon, which we can use to search through the code. Let's find something. I'm going to look for all of the const variables I have in my code. And there we go, we can go through all the search results just by clicking on it. We can also replace search phrases with this tool. Let's replace all of my const declarations to let declarations. And boom, just like that, we replaced all of them. Just click here and it's all replaced. Alright, let's jump to the next one, which is source control. In here, you can initialize a Git repository and connect it to your GitHub account. If the project that you opened already is a Git repo, it will recognize it and show you the status and some other options, which we will also see once we go through GitHub authorization. One of the most frequent operations we would do is creating a commit and pushing it. To do so, I'm going to stage all of my files and commit them with some simple message. Now we can push it to our remote repository, and that's it. We were able to do all this without touching the terminal. It's quick and easy. The next tool is for debugging. This is perfect if you want to track your code's progress. You can set a stopping point by clicking near the line you choose. To make it function, we would need to set it up, which we will cover in an upcoming video. And the last one here is Extensions tab. Here you will find extensions that can enhance our experience. They can give us extra functionalities to whatever we're doing. There are technology-specific extensions like the one for Python or for C#, and this will give developers of these languages some additional features like code navigation, formatting, refactoring, test explorer, and many more. There are extensions for working with cloud that give us better tools to easily work with some cloud providers like AWS or Azure. This is all very helpful, and we will cover all of the most useful ones for each category in a separate video as there are so many of them. On the bottom, you can see some other icons, but we don't need to bother with this too much for now. First one is for account settings. You can, for example, connect your GitHub account here. Second one is for all the editor settings, stuff like font, appearance, and others. Let's take a brief look at the other icons. This one is to connect with another computer remotely. Next, we have problems and alerts. Let's click on it as this one will be more useful for you in the beginning. Currently, there aren't any problems, but if I change something in one of my files, it's going to show up here. Let's add a new variable in the JS file, but without a name which is not correct. We're going to see an information about it in the problems window. So, if something is not working in your code, then this is the first place you can start looking at. In the bottom right corner, there is even more information. So, starting from the left side, we have cursor position and the tab size, which we can change to our own preference. Next ones are encoding type, end-of-line sequence type, and the language mode, which is recognized automatically based on the file you have currently active. The last two are for tweeting feedback and checking out the notifications. Alright, let's go to the top now just to cover everything that's visible on the screen. The first one here is for splitting editor. This is useful when we want to have two or more files visible side by side in one window. And this right top corner in general is for setting what and how is seen at the moment. We can show or hide the sidebars and panels as well as customize the Windows layout in whatever way we prefer. The windows are easy to manage, you can close and move them as you please. The last feature that I'm going to show you in this video is actually not visible right now. I'm talking about integrated terminal. This terminal is just like any other terminal you would open externally, but again, it is built in. So you don't have to go outside of VS Code if you want to run any command. By default, it's going to open at the directory that our product is located at, but we can use cd to move across the folder structure. We can even open multiple terminal windows and see them in a split view. And that's it for now, folks. There are many more features to VS Code, but hopefully this video gave you a brief overview of what is possible. If you enjoyed it, then please leave a like and a comment about what you would like to see next. Upcoming videos in this series will cover some of the most important VS Code features with all the details. I will show you how to debug your code, how to make your editor look cool, what extensions are the best, and all the other best practices. Subscribe if you don't want to miss it, and remember, learn, explore, repeat.